He has his own bat. Yeah. It's called a mouth. Yeah, I was going to say, so one of the sort of tenets to me of FarCry games, and I played all of them, I'm addicted to them, I love them, is that they're exotic. And I guess everything that is exotic is also familiar to somebody else. But this doesn't feel like it's, you know, it's not completely over the top. You're not in the jungle, you're not in the Himalayas. Right. You're here in America. And I've noticed that there was a sort of, not really a backlash, but there was a vocal minority of people who said, you know, having this sort of game set in America feels un-American. I mean, to me, I don't see it that way because you're fighting what I would perceive to be a horrible group of people. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think when we built this, you know, we talked about what do we want to do. We knew that we wanted to take the brand to the States. How do we want to do it? We want to do it in a credible way. And so we built an enemy. We looked at the idea of building our own Montana, and we built hope, you know, so that it was our own space. And then we started to talk about this idea of this father who believed that he had to save people. And even if they didn't want to save, even if they didn't believe him, and, you know, he didn't believe, basically saying that he was going to go in and take these people and bring them back. And people were like, look, I don't trust this guy. I'm not sure what this guy wants. But he says souls don't harvest themselves. Yeah. He's got to do that. So I think when we built this space, what we really wanted you to do was to be able to go out into Montana, into Hope County, and meet regular people, regular Americans who don't want to be pushed around. And when we were in Montana, we actually met people who we really got the sense of they wanted to be left alone. Didn't trust us, you know, it took a while for us to get them to talk to us. And it was really interesting to meet these stoic folks who were really self-reliant. And so as you work through the world of Hope County, you're going to meet people like that. You're going to meet people that don't want to be pushed around by the cult. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be taken. They don't trust the father, and they're going to push back. Sure. So that's the people that you're going to be building with and building this resistance with. You're going to be meeting regular people.
I think one of the most interesting things I saw in this demo is after you liberate the town, it sort of returns to some semblance of normality. Yes. People start patching up the holes in their homes. Businesses start reopening. The bar is there. You can see Pastor Jerome on the steps of the church. How does that sort of factor into the actual like mechanical gameplay?
Well, what we wanted was the idea that there were communities that basically the cult had gone in and really pushed on, and that these communities were under the thumb of the cult. And then when you go into the world and you actually go in and rescue the community, they know you. You know, they're thankful, and they're like, look, how can we help? What can we do to help build this resistance? And so what happens is that in Falls End, when you liberate it, basically now there's a whole bunch of different little locations that are available and different characters that you can meet. And they're going to say, hey, listen, I heard about Nick, or I heard about this other character, or listen, I'm hearing over the radio that there's something happening in the north, and this is what I know. Why don't you go up there and take a look? And you can.
Yeah, whereas, you know, FarCry games in the past, especially since 3, which I felt like sort of reshaped what came before it, very much had a similar loop of, you know, you would find a tower, you'd climb the tower, and then the tower would give you all the nodes of interest around you. That doesn't exist here.
Correct.
So how am I going to find things to hunt, points of interest, things to do?
Honestly, that's where we wanted to make it really believable. I think if this story happened to any one of us, we wouldn't know anybody, and we'd have to go out and try and meet people. We'd have to, you know, you have that first moment where you'd knock on a door and you'd go in, and that moment that was nobody trusts anybody, and are you safe? Are you with the cult? I'm not sure. We wanted that feeling for the player, so you've got to go out and work for it. You got to go out and meet people and build that resistance and get them to trust you, and then basically the world opens up based off of what you do.
I think one of the other sort of tenets of FarCry games, and you know, we talked a little bit about hunting there, is that there are vicious wild animals sort of populating the map. But Montana, you know, you're not going to get lions. I mean, like unless there's a crazy cultist with a zoo.
There's probably mountain lions, right?
But you are going to get some other sort of, like, I mean, wolves. Like, can we talk about? Let's go through just a list of at least what you can reveal. Some of the most insane and dangerous animals in this game.
Well, without giving away too much, what I can tell you is that I was playing the game the other day, and I was playing with Boomer, and I'm running around, and all of a sudden this bear attacks us. Right? Out of nowhere, this huge bear attacks us, and I'm freaking out, and all of a sudden Boomer basically barks at it and scares the crap out of it, and then the bear takes off through hayfields, and now we're hunting bears with Boomer. So what's really cool is that if you're out in the world and you have an animal like Boomer, it changes the balance, right? Just like you would if you had a dog. He's brazen, he's tough. If a bear shows up, if a wolf shows up, if another type of animal that I can't talk about shows up, he's going to be able to hold his own. And it's super cool to see him spin plates while you're doing other stuff.
Yeah. What are some of the other side activities we'll be doing in Hope County, aside from the murdering and liberating?
I think that the thing that we're really enjoying watching people do is obviously hunting's a big part of the brand, right? But we're also putting in fishing. And what's amazing to watch people play is that they're playing the game and they're running around doing all this stuff. And then they find somebody with a fishing rod. They pick up the fishing rod and now they spend 30 minutes just going off and fly fishing. And now you're having competitions where, who caught what did you catch, how big was it, and bragging rights. And so there was a really great moment for us in Montana where we were fishing with somebody and the guy says, look, not every problem can be solved with a bullet.
Yeah.
Just fishing, right? And you're like, okay. And so it's great. We built that into the game where you can go out into the world and meet somebody and fish and just chill.
That's good to know. The next time I see a bunch of cultists beating up a bunch of people, I'm going to go catch some big mouth bass.
There you go. I think that's it.
Settle the whole situation.
No, exactly.
No, I think it's awesome that you do have that option, right? Because this is the kind of world you do want to get lost in.
Right.
And I think that being able to sort of say okay, I got chased by a bear today. I had to fight a bunch of cult members. I'm going to go catch a fish. I'm going to chill out.
The world can't be all one flavor.
Yeah.
Our world isn't like that, right? Sometimes you just want to get into a plane and fly around and look at how beautiful the world is, or get into a cool car and just listen to the tunes and go driving.
See, we saw Nick Ryer, obviously in that past mission, he was our guns for hire. We sent him in to sort of, do an initial carpet bomb run and then provide some support. Can we get into his plane? Because aerial sort of traversal and combat has existed-ish in FarCry. We had a hang glider, we had a gyrocopter, but we haven't had like a traditional, just a plane.
No, for sure. That's exactly what we wanted. We wanted you to meet Nick and know that he's got this plane and that he's kind of fitted it and that you basically can get up there and you can have dogfights. But while you're up there, this is the key thing about the game for us, is to make sure that it's organic, that it pushes back. So you may go help Nick, you may go liberate Falls End, you may start to push against the cult in that space, but then they're going to start to push back. As you build that resistance, maybe they're going to send out the Chosen and you'll end up having a dogfight.
Cool. There you go. Well, Dan, thank you so much. When can people play this game? When can I play this game?
Yeah, February 27th. But right now at E3, if you're here, you can actually come down to the floor and try it yourself.
Excellent. Awesome. That's so good to hear. Marty, thank you for joining us. Dan, thanks for coming. Yesterday's coverage started off with a bang, and thanks to the Microsoft press conference, here's what the fans had to say about the reveal of the Xbox One X and those exclusives.
Sună bine Far Cry 5. Îmi pare rău că nu l-a întrebat despre co-op mai multe.
The conference of Microsoft was overwhelming games.
Overall, I had a really good feeling about the new content, so I'm looking forward to all of it.
The digital and the real worlds are merging in an unprecedented way.
Da.
I think the ability to have a new console, not just like the Xbox One S, but the Scorpio that can play an entire generation of games is impressive.
The Scorpio is powerful. Thought they showed off some impressive new hardware. A little bummed about the price.
I was a little bit disappointed with the price. Maybe like $50 less I was looking for.
Listen, there's trouble. Big trouble.
My biggest disappointment, I was hoping for a Halo 6.
There was a big disappointment when they showed some little orange animal running around with a blue cape. I thought for sure Conquer was coming back, and then it was just a kid's 3D platform game. That was a huge disappointment and a big troll move from Microsoft.
See you on the other side.
Definitely loved the last one, Anthem. I thought it was both visually impressive, but also had some pretty cool gameplay.
The game looked amazing. It basically reminded me of something that I would just get rid of Destiny for. The art design of it looks really cool, so I'm looking forward to that.
My favorite moment was for sure when they showed Cuphead. I've been waiting for so long for a date or anything on that game, but now we know when it's coming and it looks amazing.
IGN Live at E3. Did you know that IGN has an app that gives you all the tools you love right in the palm of your hands? It's fast, and you can save videos and articles for later, check your personalized feed, or check out all the latest reviews. Download it now on the iOS or Android App Store.
The biggest entertainment event of the year is almost here, and we've got your all-access pass. IGN live from San Diego Comic-Con. World premiere trailers and breaking news as it happens. The biggest stars and the world's best cosplay. IGN live from Comic-Con. Coverage starts July 19.
Two friends, one controller. IGN's Link Together turned Zelda Breath of the Wild into a co-op experience where Link is controlled by two players via splitting the Joy-Cons. Hyrule becomes a much more dangerous place, and friendships teeter on the edge. Check out Link Together Thursdays at 3 p.m. Pacific.
IGN is the world's #1 media brand for video games and entertainment. From breaking news and brand new trailers to reviews, let's plays, and the latest tips and tricks, IGN brings you the videos you crave everywhere you watch. Whether you're on the IGN app, PlayStation, Xbox, YouTube, Facebook, Snapchat, or IGN.com, IGN's got you covered on everything you care about. IGN, the #1 source for video game fans worldwide.
Welcome back to IGN Live at E3. Watching a Studio Ghibli movie is an incredible experience, but being able to play a game that looks and sounds like one is even better. Gav Murphy and I are ready to get a look at Nino-Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom, and here to tell us more about it is Stephen Akana.
Hey. How's it going today?
Pretty good.
Yeah, no, thank you for having us. I mean, we're just really excited that Nino-Kuni 2. It's finally here, right?
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
So right off the bat, I want to get this out of the way. Nino-Kuni, fantastic game, but it came out on PS3, which was, I feel like that was kind of the dark horse of last generation. So a lot of people didn't get a chance to play it. Nino-Kuni 2, is it a direct sequel, or will people get a chance to really start fresh?
So Nino-Kuni 2, you can actually jump into Nino-Kuni 2 without having played the first one. Okay. The magic of it is that they've taken this kind of play space, and there's a different story, there's different play mechanics, but there's going to be a lot of familiarity with certain areas. Like Ding Dong Dell appears in the first game and in the second game, but it's totally different.
So it's almost like a continuation of the world without actually being a proper sequel with the same characters.
Yeah, it's almost like, there's no real continuity between the first story and the second story. It's really just being able to kind of jump in and have that play space again, where it's like, here's a new way of being able to give you that Ghibli-style story.
Yeah, but for the people who really, really like Nino-Kuni, is it actually going to feel like that game?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. I mean, it's the same way that you walk away from a Ghibli movie when you go to the theaters. You have that feeling of this hero character who makes a growth and a progression, and the connections that they make with all the other characters, it really resonates in the same way.
Awesome. I think we're going to have a look at it.
All right, so we've got a demo that is, I think, on the show floor here at E3, right?
Yeah, no, so we have the first hands-on playable that's going to be showing at E3 starting tomorrow. And there's 2 sections, actually. So this first section that we're showing, Evan, he's made his way to Cloud Coil Canyon, and he's met up with his friend Tani. And Tani, and Roland are going to be going to this section that's called the Trial of Courage. And in this trial, he needs to basically, go through a couple different trials. For this demo, we really wanted to shore it up so that we can give people that hands-on experience, just jump right into gameplay. So really excited that this is something that people are going to try for the first time.
So you're like a cat person and they're space pirates.
Kind of. I mean, so Evan, he comes from Ding Dong Dell, which is it's a country that has both cats and mice living together in harmony. So Evan is actually half cat folk, half human.
Okay.
And Roland, the guy that's with him as well, he's from another world. Right. So he comes in and he's actually president of a country in his own world.
Okay. And is he from our world, like Oliver was in the first game?
Similar. That kind of duality of 2 different worlds. So when Roland comes in, he notices how Evan has a lot of qualities that are similar to himself when he was first starting to become president of his own country. So, during all the commotion of a coup that's going on and Evan's exiled from his country, he really decides, hey, I want to jump in and I want to mentor Evan and bring him up to the leader that I believe that he has within his heart.
Yeah. Now, we got a glimmer of the sort of little chibi characters running around the overworld earlier. The kind of the main exploration of dungeons and areas, it looks very similar to the first Nino-Kuni. Does the combat take an entirely different route from the first game?
The combat is completely revamped for Nino-Kuni 2. Everything takes place in a real-time battle sequence, so you have free movement with your party members, and you're able to switch with them on the fly.
Yeah.
And everything is able to be done all in real time.
All right. Now, the first game had a lot of kind of very familiar kind of JRPG elements. It was open for exploration to a certain degree, but you'd still get kind of slapped on the wrist by high-level enemies if you wandered too far off, and there'd be kind of parts that were, you know, walled off by story stuff. I've heard it mentioned that this is kind of more open for exploration. Is that true, or?
Yeah, I mean, like, still with the story, there's going to be certain gates of things that you need to complete to be able to continue your progression.
Okay.
But this one, it has a much more open feel. There's less of the familiar training that you had in the first game.
Yeah.
There's no familiars that you're capturing in Nino-Kuni 2, but there is other elements that have been brought in to make sure that, you know, the people who are big fans, like me, myself, I was a huge fan of collecting all the different familiars. But there is a different way of being able to visualize your investment into your gameplay.
Okay. Now, one thing you've got here now, you've got Higgledies.
Yes.
What are they?
So,
what is a Higgledy?
They're these cute little sprites. They're basically the spirit of everything that's around you in your world.
Turn-based,
as you can see, you can think of the Higgledies almost as
nu mai ai familiars,
so you can switch
nu
between your
continuă
3 different
povestea,
members that you
numai
already
minusuri,
have,
sincer,
but
pentru mine până
the
acum.
Higgledies themselves,
Doar
they'll see
stilul
different
e
opportunities based on
același,
the battles
stilul
that you're
Ghibli
in.
care
And
este
sometimes
foarte drăguț.
they'll see
Dar
that
în
need
rest,
healing, and then they'll try to heal your
ce
party,
asta? Asta zici că
or
e
they'll see
Dragon's
like attack
Crown?
openings, and they'll start throwing in little attacks, or
sau
they'll
nu, Dragon
open up,
Quest.
you'll see these blue circles.
Da, Dragon
open up,
Quest,
and you can give
zici
them
că te joci
commands.
Dragon Quest.
And those commands will give you
Fine.
buffs that can, you know, boost your defense or